about right here or so, and he ran back across the road behind me, and I saw him in my rearview mirror, and I jumped out and started chasing. And then Officer Salinas, she's a detective now, she saw him cross the road, and she pulled down this way and went into the alley. He ran through in front of her patrol car and jumped the fences right here. I'll show you. He jumped the fences right here and crossed over and continued running that direction. And we jumped and continued chasing, and I about broke my neck going over that fence. And I could see her when she was out in front of me, because she had got between he and I could see her tackle him in the driveway there when I was back just coming over the fence. I could hear screaming going on, and then I saw her push him, and I saw him, then I saw the gun. So I shot from over there, and the incident with them was over here in the driveway and right on that fence line. And when I shot, he fell down into the bushes there, and he still had the gun in his hand. And it was a very weird situation to go through it. I mean, probably every police officer I know, they think about these things, and you think, what am I going to do when these times come, or if something like that happens? And that's a good thing, because you're training yourself to, okay, if something bad like that happens, I have to survive. I have to do what I need to do to win, so that I get to go home. I'm not going to let the bad guy take me out so that I don't get to go home to my family.
Law enforcement officers face some of the toughest day-to-day challenges among working professionals. Sworn to serve and protect the citizens, these men and women uphold order in our society, sometimes performing their duties under the distinct threat of injury or death. But who's out there to look out for these officers? That's where the Washington Council of Police and Sheriffs comes in. WACOPS is recognized as the largest, oldest, and most influential organization representing law enforcement professionals in Washington State. We are committed to protecting the rights and quality of life of Washington's law enforcement officers through legislative action, legal defense, and the provision of quality, long-term disability, life, and other insurance products. WACOPS has been in operation since the 1950s and has been involved in numerous legislative efforts to defeat bills that would take away pension benefits and to support bills that would improve pension benefits for law enforcement officers in the state of Washington. Our legislative influence also focuses on bills that impact law enforcement's ability to carry out their work and day-to-day working conditions for officers in our state.
We are a provider of services that you can't get anywhere else. And so the biggest thing that we do on a big picture is in Olympia. We spend time with the legislature, working with legislators, building laws, trying to squash bad laws.
When I first started the retirement system I'm currently in, the one I'm drawing my pension from now, the retirement age for that was 58 before you could draw a pension. Then it was reduced to 55 and then reduced to 53 as a result of the work that WACOPS did.
Working with WACOPS, it's easy for me to see how important it is that we look at the police officers as a whole person, their entire lives, and the work that they do over their entire career. To make sure that it's recognized in their retirement, making sure that they get to live the rest of their lives in a way that says, job well done, thank you very much.
We do a lot of training for police officers across the state. And a lot of times it's focused towards smaller agencies, because some of the larger agencies get their training. But some of the smaller agencies don't have access to that training. And so they get that through WACOPS.
WACOPS also has what we call the Benevolent Fund. And it is basically it's a savings account that we hope we never have to use. The Benevolent Fund was put together to help families of fallen officers or officers that have been involved in traumatic situations. Having signed several of those checks breaks my heart every time to know that we have to do it, but it also gives me a little bit of I guess, satisfaction to know that what little bit we can give may help that family.
Since 1997, WACOPS has operated a subsidiary insurance company called Public Safety Employees Insurance, Incorporated. Using the combined buying power of our membership, WACOPS offers our members access to exclusive programs and competitive rates.
Through whatever set of unfortunate circumstances may come down the road, you may not be able to do that job forever. If you're injured in the line of duty or off duty, because let's face it, I mean, we all have a life outside of law enforcement. I love to ride my motorcycle. Something happens to me, to no fault of my own, I may not be able to go to work tomorrow. The beauty of WACOPS is we do provide a benefit that would allow me to continue to pay for my house, pay for that motorcycle, and put food on my table. If I am injured and if I'm crippled, God forbid, or something happens to me that I can't go be a deputy sheriff tomorrow, I know that my family will be taken care of.
For guilds and associations with less than 45 members, WACOPS offers voluntary participation in our Labor Defense Group.
We're smaller agencies, they just don't have the funding to hire the attorneys, so generally it's someone within the organization that's a police officer one day on the street, and then the next day they're in front of management trying to negotiate their own labor contract. LDG is a avenue for these small agencies with minimal funding to LDG can come in and they'll negotiate the contract for you. Starting my career as a smaller agency, it's a very valuable benefit.
As a police officer, if you get in trouble, it happens, and you really can't do anything that we haven't seen. So as a board, with LDG and with our negotiator, we've probably seen it or we've heard about it and we know how to deal with it. And that's why we're here. And WACOPS provides that.
The WACOPS organization is structured to ensure that each participating officer from all across the state has a voice that will be heard by our lawmakers.
The state is built on the Cascade Curtain. And that's kind of how WACOPS is built, is that we have representation from the east side of the state, from law enforcement officers, from sheriff's departments and police departments, and the same on the west side. We have representations from the police departments and sheriff's departments. So we have some large departments, we have some small departments. And in this state, primarily, most of our departments are smaller agencies, less than 100 people. And so we need to have that representation on WACOPS.
You've got other groups that are small out there and regional. WACOPS is a single statewide group that actually has the legislators' ears.
The way that the Council of Police and Sheriff's legislative agenda works is that it comes from the members. They vote on that, and we have a legislative agenda every year that we go with.
I'm the chair of the Public Safety Committee in the House, and so I deal with law enforcement issues all the time. And I rely on WACOPS for guidance on a lot of issues. And so it's really important for law enforcement out there to know that they have an organization working for them.
WACOPS is a very valuable information tool to me as a legislator. And if you want to have your voice heard in Olympia, WACOPS is a very good place for you to land.
We got your back. It is officers there for officers. And the bottom line is that when you are down in the dumps, and your family, something happens to your family, that's what we are there for. That's the blue blood. That's us. That's what we do. That's WACOPS.
Our effectiveness as an organization is based on our members. The more officers and departments involved in WACOPS, the greater our message in Olympia is received, allowing us the ability to protect the professionals, protecting our state. Learn more at wacops.org or stop by the WACOPS office in Olympia.